Good Thursday morning, everybody. Chris Allen here on this June 29th and on the SAM channel, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter, sponsored by Ace Hardware Marketplace. As you can see around me, I've got the red graphics and the crawl going at the bottom of the screen. That's because, and weather stick is red as well. A day of caution, a day that we could see more severe weather like we had Sunday night, early Monday morning. Potential for wind damage, potential for large hail, potential for heavy rainfall, and even a potential to see maybe a couple of tornadoes, not just with one round of thunderstorms, but two of them today. One coming in this morning, another coming in this afternoon, almost like what we had on Sunday. So I want to make sure that you've got everything ready and prepared just in case, because um, some some of you are just now getting your power back on as of yesterday. And oh, by the way, that is Sam 100.7. We are back on the air. Yes, as of yesterday evening, probably about 7 o'clock or so. We got back on the air. Many thanks to Warren Rural Electric and even those power companies that came in to assist them for the last 2 or 3 days. We have not been on our transmitter. Now we're back. And so let's hope that today's weather doesn't knock everybody back out, but it has the potential to do that. So let me start with that. And at any time, you can read at the bottom of your screen, the crawl has a lot of pertinent information in it. So you can look at that if you want to. But I do want you to pay attention to this. This is the severe weather threat from the National Weather Service and the Storm Prediction Center for today. Again, we're talking about two distinct rounds of weather. One coming in this morning, which I'll show you in a moment. Here it is a little bit after 5 a.m. as I record this podcast. So if you're watching it later this morning, you'll need to adjust for the time that you watch it. So here at 5 a.m., this is the outlook. Most of us are in that level 2 slight risk, that yellow shaded area. Does include Bowling Green, much of southern Kentucky, until you get up 165 and near Hartford, Beaver Dam, even E-Town you can include there, Madisonville, Owensboro. That is a level three enhanced risk. And that's what we had on Sunday. So as you can see on the scale to the left, tornado threat is low, but not zero. Okay. We did have, at least one or two small tornadoes that happened on Sunday in the region. Okay. So that's possible again, but the higher threats are going to be wind, going to be flooding. And when I say wind, damaging wind, that means more trees could go down. That means your power could get cut off again. And for some of you, just as it gets turned on, it could go off again. Just be prepared for that. Hail, low to moderate threat, but the bigger threats are going to be the damaging wind threat and flooding, rainfall, heavy rainfall. Now, this is going to come in two waves, one coming in this morning, another coming in this afternoon with the same kind of threats. So this is something we've got to watch very carefully as we go through the day. Keep your, keep your radios on. Hopefully, Sam is going to continue to uh, not be interrupted as we're back on the air, and you can follow along on your radio. But if the radio goes off, then you're going to have to depend on your NOAA weather radio for instant information and possibly your phone or device. Because on your phone, you can get those weather bulletins instantly. And if you've gone into your settings and set those up, the WEA alerts is what it's called. Just go into the settings on your phone if you have a smartphone and look, just search WEA alerts. and you'll see that you can make sure all those are turned on and you'll get the bulletins. You don't have to be associated with any station or anything. You could just get them from the Weather Service directly. So that's the way to get that done. Let's check radar because it is already active this morning. Not here, but again, this is as of 5 a.m. this morning. Nothing going on here in Southern Kentucky. But as I told you yesterday, this is what we're going to have to watch. And here it comes, the first in a series of complexes, and it's ongoing right now in Illinois and crossing over into Indiana. Now, the thing is, this is flowing along the periphery of a big dome of high pressure, which is south of us. Okay. So what's happening is that big dome of high pressure is guiding these storms as they form, and you can see they're severe. And now they're starting to take that right turn and they're going to start to head south. So this is going to be round one of thunderstorm activity if it all holds together. Now, the timing I said yesterday could be 7, 8, 9 o'clock this morning. It could be a little bit later. It could be a little bit sooner. Right now, it's headed toward Terre Haute, Indiana. They're currently under a severe thunderstorm warning. Here's Vincennes, Indiana. Then you get down to Evansville, Owensboro. There's Litchfield. There's E-Town. And here's Bowling Green down here at the bottom. So all of this is headed our direction. But this is the first in a series of these kind of complexes that's going to roll through today and actually over the next several days. We're going to see this continual pattern of one storm complex after the other. And the problem with these complexes is when they get so saturated with moisture, they also get a lot of wind inside of them. And so when they come down to the ground and they collapse down to the ground like the other day, you're going to have this sporadic trees down everywhere, power lines down. You're going to have some incredible rainfall, just like some of you east of us saw Sunday night, Monday morning with 3-4 inches of rain causing some flooding. You could get some hail. And yes, there is that tornado threat. So all threats are on the table twice today, not once, but twice. So I want you to be aware of that as you plan your day and as you go to work and as you do things around the house. You're just going to have to really pay attention. Keep your radios on, your weather radios on, and listen for bulletins to come out because they could happen anytime, anywhere. So that being said, let's check some of the current conditions. The air is soupy, very thick, 60s and 70s already this morning. We're close to 70 here in Bowling Green, and the humidity levels already in the 90s, dew points in the 60s and 70s. That means there's plenty of moisture to work with. The air is very thick. All we need is something to, blow it up, and that complex coming in is going to blow it up not once, but twice today. So, and when it's not raining, the temperatures, going to be around 90, but it's going to feel a lot warmer than that. Yesterday's high was 90, by the way, in Bowling Green, 1 degree warmer than the average of 89. And as far as rainfall, we're now right at the 5-inch mark as far as a deficit on rainfall, close to 5 inches behind on year-to-date rainfall. The problem is with these complexes, they may throw down a bunch of rain at once. We don't need that because that'll cause some minor flooding and street flooding and issues like that. We don't need it, but we'll take whatever we can get. The problem is we're going to have to deal with severe weather with it as well. Let's show you the 10-day blender before I get into the models here and show you what's coming. Here's a look at temperatures the next 10 days. Like I said, 90, 91, 92 today. It's going to feel a lot hotter than that when the sun comes back out between this morning's thunderstorms and this afternoon's thunderstorms. But look at the next couple of days. Friday and Saturday, brutal heat. Heat advisories are in effect, extreme heat warnings. Now, when these storm complexes come by, that will get rid of the heat advisory and the excessive heat warnings and heated excessive heat watches and all of that. Those may not stand if we continue to get these complexes rolling in here. So just know that. But when the sun is out and it's heating up all that available moisture, you do not need to be outdoors. Nobody, when it's that hot. 97 Friday and Saturday, then the heat index being like 110, maybe even hotter in some cases. So that's a word of caution there. And we're going to continue to see unsettled weather even as we get into the start of next week, which is the beginning of July. And you could see the 4th around 90, and there's thunderstorms in the forecast even there. Now, we do try to cool it down a little bit toward the end of next week into the mid to upper 80s. But a lot can change between now and then. Now, these storms didn't quite look as potent before, in the last couple of days, but now it seems that we're going to be in this periphery of the high pressure ridge, and everything's going to go around it. So that's the problem with the storms that are coming in. Let me show you again. High pressure, it's covering much of this area. So here's the big dome of high pressure. So what happens is these storms, when they form, they get caught up in the upper air and the jet stream, and they just form and then follow the periphery of the high pressure, as I was showing you before. So let's watch the timing and how these storms, here are the ones that are going on this morning in Illinois and Indiana. You're like, well, they're going east until they aren't. And there you see, drop down. Here we go this morning about 8, 9, 10 o'clock, and it could happen sooner for some of you, and it heads right for Bowling Green. It doesn't look like much here, but this is covering a lot of territory. It's a big complex of nothing but wind and rain and maybe some hail. That one passes by, and then there's another one. This is the one that's going to follow this afternoon, and this one looks more potent. Look at this. That is a true indication, a big indicator of damaging wind. And I'm telling you, those of you that have had wind damage, you could have it again this afternoon or even this morning. Those of you that haven't had wind damage, you may get it with this one. Again, this will be one of those systems that is pushed south and east with a lot of wind and a lot of rain. So be prepared for that. You got anything outdoors you need to bring in, do it. Do it before you go to work. This will fade away and move away as we get into tonight. There's still these little leftover complexes, these little scattered showers and thunderstorms, even into the early evening hours. I mean, it's just one after another, and they're all being steered by that big dome of high pressure. Here's more activity that is going to come in as we go into Friday. Here we go again. Look at that. More thunderstorms. Now, the placement may not be exactly where you see it, and that's where the models kind of disagree. They disagree on the timing, and they disagree on placement. In other words, where they're going to happen. So take this with a little grain of salt when it comes to timing and placement, but just know that when these storms, these complexes get together, you can't stop them. Nothing can stop them. They're just going to happen, and they're going to happen with rapid fire. You get one complex out, does some damage, throws down a lot of rain, and sun comes out, and you're like, oh, good, that's over. Then here comes another one. It may be 8 hours later, maybe 12 hours later, it could be 24 hours later, but they're going to keep coming throughout the weekend. So if you've got plans for this weekend, these things are just going to keep coming day after day after day. And so we may have to leave weather stick red and just keep talking about this throughout the course of the weekend and even into the beginning of next week. So let's take a look at the map before we go, and I'll show you how this is going to play out. Here's the right now. Here comes a warm front. Now, the warm front is going to be the instigator for the second round this afternoon. The first round coming in this morning is right here, but there's some ability to aid those thunderstorms with the warm front. The warm front's going to create lift along that boundary, and all of that's around the periphery of high pressure. So the problem is we're sitting right in that target zone for more of these thunderstorms to pop up, not just today. Here we go into this afternoon, this evening. Here we go into Friday morning, maybe a little bit of a break, not much of one. And here comes thunderstorms Friday midday, Friday afternoon. The front starts to stall because high pressure is down here in the Gulf. Let me show you. There it is. This high pressure is the one that builds that dome right there over the Gulf coastal states. And it's slowing down that front. And so what's going to happen is the front's going to stall here on Saturday or close by on Saturday and give us maybe continual rain, heavy rain, thunderstorms, and more potential for severe weather, more potential for damaging winds. Look at all that. Now, this is what we need as far as rain, because like I said, we're 5 inches behind on rainfall, but we don't need it to just saturate us all at once. But it's going to keep coming. Here's Sunday into Monday into Tuesday. See what I mean? That's a lot of rain. And then not painted in, but here on Wednesday, we do get, it looks like we could get a break after some early morning storms on Wednesday as high pressure tries to take over, but it's a dirty high. What we call a dirty high. I know it sounds funny, but it's one of those high pressure ridges or centers that's contaminated by a lot of moisture. There's moisture around it. There's backlash moisture that comes in back behind it because of the clockwise flow around high pressure, and that's going to keep us unsettled into next week, including the 4th on Tuesday. So there's a lot of weather going on. Heat advisories, extreme heat watches, uh, rounds of thunderstorms this morning and this evening. Then the next few days, heavy rain, wind damage, tornadoes, large hail. Did I leave out anything? Snow? No. Look, I'm serious about all this. I'm just trying to ease your mind just a little bit. Um, just stay alert. Okay, that's the best thing that I can tell you is just stay prepared, stay alert. When these things come in, you see the sky getting dark off to your north and northwest, look out, it's coming. And that means you need to get inside, you need to monitor the weather with your weather radio or on SAM 100.7 or on your phone, whatever. Have several ways. Don't depend on an outdoor warning siren. Just don't get these, have these items ready to go, have a safe place to go. Yes, you may get wind damage. Yes, you may get trees down. Yes, your power may go out again just after it has come back. But such is the case with these storms that are coming in, okay? But I'll be watching it all day right here on the SAM channel and on SAM 100.7. All right, headed to the radio station. Yay, it's on the air. Wait a minute, let me check. Huey, happy to be stuck with you. Yes, I am. So we're on 100.7 FM. God bless you. Thank you for watching. Be safe today, and I'll see you on the radio.